Hello and welcome to your daily astrology and tarot horoscope for Tuesday. This is August 26, 2014. If you watch these videos, you know I always start with a plan of the day. And I've just finished reading this Traditional Astrology for Today book by Benjamin Dykes, and I love it. I'm actually really thinking that traditional astrology is the path for me in terms of just picking a direction and pushing. I really want to just slowly start applying these books into my own readings and into my own charts. The great thing about it is they're it is very just sort of, there's a lot less gray area than with modern astrology. So it's a little bit more cut and dry, but when you get into that cut and dry, you're able to give such concise advice, and then you're using your intuition a little bit less. You're divining. You can still divine and you can still use tarot cards, I believe, but it's just not dependent on that. The stars themselves are signs, and your ability to read the signs is a lot more clear with traditional astrology. But I just wanted to show you this diagram from the book. I don't know if that's seeable. It just shows the different planets and how they interact. And today is Tuesday. What I find very interesting is, see, the moon is connecting to Mars. And then, for example, Mercury is connecting to Jupiter. It's basically going a play off the days of the week, so it actually goes in order. So the moon is change and travel, and it goes into endings with the destruction and war of Tuesday. So what I'm really getting out of this from traditional astrology, I'm just going to make my little interpretation from this pattern, is Monday you're coming in and you're getting that change, and Tuesday you're going to have some resolution to that change. And that should be the same for every week. It's sort of like Monday is setting the stage and setting that tone for the week, and Tuesday is that thriving and putting it into real action and making it solidified and winning your battles and going for it. So I would just really encourage you to align on with your martial energy today and really fulfill that intention that you set on Monday, especially if you did those new moon wishes that I really hope you did, because yesterday was that new moon in Virgo. Okay, and so the card of the day, I'll put a link to my weekly card reading for the week, but just to show you the Osho card of the day, we're still getting into the quote-unquote negative, darker, whatever energies, in my opinion. You know, you're projecting. As an honest human being, do you really want to be projecting? I mean, I'm just going to, you know, you get into these new agey things and everybody says that, you know, you're part of everything, nothing's right, nothing's wrong. But at the end of the day, you get a card like projection early in the week coming from a card like the mind on Monday. You know, the mind leading into this. There's a lot of mind games and a lot of psychology games, and it's affecting your relationship right now and your relationships. So, you know, Dan Millman always says the way of the warrior is, you know, 2 steps forward and 1 step back. You know, I think that's a little cliche. I mean, you don't really count the steps exactly. I mean, you might make 4 steps forward and 2 steps back, or you might even make 20 steps forward and 1 step back at one time. Things happen, but the cards to me intuitively are showing me we're kind of getting in our mind, but if you watched my reading yesterday, this is an opportunity for some healing and for some expansion and new horizons somehow. Somehow this is leading into something better, given the 6 of Wands that I pulled from the Wild Unknown Tarot card. And for Tuesday, just watch out. What are people projecting onto you, and how are you projecting onto others? It's just something to watch for, and that's leading into Wednesday, when you're going to get that guidance from the inner voice, and you're going to start meditating on these bigger themes and letting go of these petty things. So just let's get through the hump of Tuesday and see how Wednesday helps us out when we go into that inner voice card. And I still want to pull, like I said, I'm learning this deck with you. I'm doing this extemporaneously. I like to pull cards just because this is how I would do a reading for a person. You don't have time to, you know, prepare. You don't have time to do anything. You have to just be in tuned. As long as you have your crystals nearby, your stones. This opal I got in Norway. Oh my god. I love it. I mean, I love all my stones. So I always try to, I'm just giving you my process. I just shuffled 3 times. Now I'm going to put them into 3 piles, and I'm going to intuitively stack them back together. Then I fan them out. This is just kind of the ritual that I like to do. I mean, you don't have to do it, but I like to be consistent in this, because then you're being centered, you're setting that intention, you're doing it in a precise way, and then you just kind of feel it out with your left hand, and I always pull with the left. Oh my gosh, and you got this major arcana card, the star, underlining all these energies. So whatever dark things we're thinking, whatever dark things we're sifting through with the mind and with our projections, we just got to remember these underlying themes are so powerful. I mean, this is the 17 card of the major arcana. It's the star, and it's just exquisite. And it's such an auspicious message. It's like these Osho cards that have set us up for the week are kind of telling us these human things that we're going through, these more mundane things, which are very important in our relationships to people. But you got to understand this undercurrent with these wild unknowns are promising us something better. This is reaching to something higher. That's what I always hate getting into the New Age circles, because they're like, oh, something horrible happens and it's for your better good. And no, I think that's bull crap half the time. Let's be honest. Like, no, there's conventionally bad things you don't want to happen. But at the end of the day, these are specific signs saying, yeah, those bull crap things are going to happen, and it's for something better. The cards are specifically saying that. It's not just a cliche or platitude I'm giving you. So that's wonderful. I love these cards. I love these cards. The Wild Unknown tarot deck, and yes. Okay, so let's just get into the astrology for the day. So yesterday was the new moon in Virgo. We've been going through this fire water energy, and now we're getting into some grounding earth energy in general. Like I said, these are all when you look at a daily astrology horoscope, you got to just say, what's the vibe for the day? What are people going through in general? But I mean, I guess the best way to do that would be, what's the relationship between Saturn and Jupiter? That's how the old timers did it. But let me pull up a chart. And just so you know, I recently did a tag video by Avalon's Spiritual Odyssey. That was the channel. And I believe the woman's name's Avalon, and I believe she's from Australia. And it was about tarot, because I definitely do use tarot and integrate that into my practice. And she, yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that video. You can go view it if you look at my other videos. It was like 29 very in-depth questions about your tarot practice, and I approached it like I'm approaching a lot of these things. I'm trying to kill that perfectionist side of me and just go for it and just do it. And I'm worried less about if something's not the perfect quality, I'm letting that go and trying to just go for it. So I did that, and I just answered those questions once again extemporaneously. And yeah, it was very, very fun and very informative to how things are working for me. So, all right. What's going on? The sun is newly in Virgo. The moon is now 14 degrees of Virgo, ready to make an aspect to Mercury. Communication is key today. With Mercury now getting to a sextile to Saturn and Mars, to me, the old-timers, and especially the Vedic astrology book that I read, Mercury and Saturn like each other. Mercury's that authority figure, and he takes Mercury under his wing, and he guides him, and he gives him education, and he helps him with these things. So to me, these are big communicators, these are big talkers. And so this square energy that's happening between Venus and Jupiter, kind of squaring that Scorpio energy of Saturn and Mars, because Venus and Jupiter are in Leo. So by whole sign aspect, that squares Scorpio, and that means there's a tension in modern astrology. There's some type of alignment that they need to figure out together. The thing is who, in my opinion, would be winning this sort of wars, especially on a Tuesday, would be, it's going to be the Saturn and Mars energy that really needs to be heard. And so this really goes into that theme of the tarot card for today. So the moon the Moon and Mercury are going to be conjunct at about 19 degrees of Virgo, and that is going to be making a sextile and adding this positive energy, adding this communicative energy, and adding this emotional Moon energy into the in a very practical healing form from Virgo into that Saturn and Mars. So even though we have that great Jupiter and Venus, in Leo energy going on right now, that's not going to be what's prevalent. What's going to be prevalent as us doing this intuitive work, digging below the surface, peeling out those onions of that facade that we're building that aren't serving us anymore, and trying to expose ourselves into the world in a more true and genuine manner. So that's what Tuesday's all about. That's what the astrology is all about. If you have any questions about this interpretation, please feel free to contact me. This is what I always pull the chart for my work time. I work at 8 o'clock in the morning in Beverly Hills, so this is my daily chart. The light blanks out. Sorry about that. But I get a Virgo rising, which I'm a Virgo. It's almost exactly conjunct with my house system of my chart. Wow, Virgo rising and a Gemini midheaven and a Sagittarius at the bottom. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, anything, please let me know. My name's Nicholas, and I hope this was helpful.